Our final presenter in the Horizon category is a company that we're getting to know rather well, VCE. And I might just preface this by saying that we are kind of the newest initiative within the MTBC is on cloud computing. We're actually kind of bringing the ecosystem together here in North Texas to try to figure out how we can become world-class in all aspects of cloud computing. If you have an interest in joining our effort on that, John Jacobs, John, stand up for a second. One of my senior vice presidents will be more than happy to talk to you about that. The need to converge network storage, virtualization, and management into a single product enables IT departments to focus on strategic and transformational initiatives and operations. This is the business of VCE. To help customers do this, VCE delivers the V-Block infrastructure platform, which integrates IT into a single converged infrastructure product. Please welcome the Senior Vice President of Service and Delivery, Brian Miller. Brian?
Thank you, Bill. We'd also like to recognize the MTBC as well as all the folks that have come out here today. We are absolutely honored and feel humbled by being nominated for this award. What I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit around why VCE exists and why our parent companies created this joint venture. The joint venture was launched about 18 months ago, and right now we're just under 1,000 people strong and growing at a quite accelerated rate. But what we did is we addressed what the IT market concerns are today. 3/4 out of every dollar in IT is just used to keep the lights on. And that's becoming an increasing problem as the aging technology and the infrastructure out there, as IT budgets have been under pressures and cost reductions. It's come to the point where customers are looking at how are they going to refresh the technology, and the business as usual architectures isn't a path that they seem that they can go forward with. In addition, the environments and the customers are just thriving and looking to drive new applications. They want to build new applications to grow their business, and yet they've got 3/4 of every dollar going out the door just to keep the lights on. So this is what was the genesis and foundation of why we created and launched the joint venture known as VCE. The pain points I think everyone is probably well accustomed to and understands: more with less, multiple vendors on their floor, complexity increasing at an exponential rate, IT staff continually being overworked. It's coming to the point where something has to give, and the architecture from a V-Block perspective is an area that we feel can solve a vast majority of these issues, as well as being able to launch greater efficiencies as customers start to drive further virtualization into their operations and in their data centers. The VCE model is really built around best-of-breed technologies from the parents. You've got Cisco technologies around their switching infrastructure, as well as their latest blade technology in the UCS fabric. Next generation computing is absolutely core to this, as well as bringing the EMC best-of-breed technology and the platforms there, as well as all the information management and security aspects that is absolutely required in our IT infrastructures. VMware is obviously the leader in the virtualization stage. This is a fabric that we drive through this, and everything sits on the x86 platform. So if you look at the partnership and the relationship between the joint venture, the basic core technologies that we believe we need to go forward with, we have within the joint venture, and is an area that is our focus to bring this into a converged platform. Our charter is very simply put. It's to accelerate the adoption of converged infrastructure and cloud computing models, while dramatically reducing costs and accelerating time to market. How we do that is around the V-Block architecture, which is really something that is focused on the network, the storage, the compute, virtualization, as well as security, into an integrated, pre-packaged, pre-tested component. It's something we actually build in our factory, so it's not something that you get 300 or 400 boxes on your data center floor and try to assemble it. That is not a recipe for success. We did look at that, and that is an area that we actually have built factories now, where we actually build these in the factory. They hit on the customer data center floor, and we can actually turn these up in days and bring them onto an online operation to actually go through a test or a case study that we did with one of our customers. We also are building solutions on top of this, and I'll touch on that in a moment. Converged infrastructure and a platform is just the first step in the evolution of trying to drive reduced costs down, so that we can get our application developers quicker to the point of developing applications for the business, and that's what's really driving the revenue for our customer base. The other component of this is we provide an integrated seamless support, so there's a single phone number to call within the customer service, so as environments have experience issues or challenges, they can bring one call in and we provide an integrated seamless support to solve that problem for our customers. Talking a bit about solutions enablement, the next evolution in what we're working is to virtualize the application stack, whether it be Exchange, working with SAP, working with SharePoint. We want to be able to provide integrated prepackaged appliances, if you will, that you can actually order as a SKU, bring it into your data center, turn it up in a matter of days, and have an application suite. One of the areas I think probably all, if not most of you are front and center with is facing the virtual desktop. How do we actually enable that and drive that? So that's an area that we're building out integrated prepackaged virtual desktop components that we could actually build and ship out from our factories as well. So we see the next generation even extending then, where you can actually create an application development framework that you can bring into your operations, whether it be Ruby on Rails or Spring Source or those types of things, where you can turn that up so that your time to application development is shortened greatly, and that the application folks are actually building and working on applications versus troubleshooting the infrastructure as it has been done days in and days out in the past. A case study, one of our customers, and this is just one of many, we have about 250 customers today, about 350 systems out in the market, and that is basically from when we turned our operations and actually started shipping product just over a year ago. But this is an example that we see in multiple customer sets. This customer was looking at launching a new business, and it was basically looking at a 6-month timeline. We talked to the customer, we architected the solution, and instead of going from a 6 months, we had them up in operations in 2 weeks. So the dramatic cycle time reduction of our non-recurring engineering putting to work for that customer was validated in this instance. Additionally, the application and the software development engineers were actually getting to do their real job, developing applications to solve and generate revenue for their business units. And now we see that they're turning on new service lines in a matter of literally minutes versus what would take them anywhere between 1 to 2 days going forward. This is something that we see in multiple cases, whether it be BDI, whether it be SAP, or other applications within their data center. And this is just a list of some of the other customers that we're working with today. We're located here in Dallas. Our data center, or our Dallas headquarters is in Richardson. We leverage our parents both on the East Coast and West Coast, and it's absolutely a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank you for your time.